Good morning. Today in ELA, we are going to be talking about comparing two story versions. So first we have to ask ourselves, what does it mean to compare and contrast? What does that mean? When we look at a comparison is looking at how two or more things are similar and different, okay? But when we just compare something, that means we're looking for the similarities. When we contrast, we're looking for those differences. As we're reading, we may find some key words that will help us. So we have them right here: similar, similarly, same, and common. And the rest of these are going to help us find things that are the same. In some texts, will also find keywords that will help us contrast or find those differences. So obviously when you see words like differently or differences or difference, then that will kind of clue you into where those differences are. But also look for words like opposed or on the other hand, in contrast to. So what graphic organizer do we use to help us compare and contrast? I bet you've used this before. You may have used hula hoops in another class to kind of actually get like a life-size version, but it is called a Venn diagram. I'm going to show you how to use this now. So the first thing I want you to know about the Venn diagram is you always need to label each part, and you also have to have a title. So up here we have the title. How are 4th and 5th grade different? Then I label each part. This side's for 4th, this side's for 5th, and the center section is always going to say both. Okay, so I'm going to put my differences in these outside circle or the outside sides of the circle, and then this area that both circles share, those are my similarities. So in 4th grade, here are my differences. You may have had 2 teachers for core subjects. You may have went to South. Mr. Scheiderer was your principal. Where in 5th grade, you have 4 teachers for core subjects. You go to Central Intermediate, and Mrs. King is your principal. Then in the center, you're always going to want to list those similarities. So you have specials in 5th grade. You like your teachers. 5th and 4th grade, you have specials and you like your teachers. And of course, ELA is your favorite subject. So let's practice. I posted 2 videos. One is a traditional 3 Little Pigs story, and another one is has some differences. While you watch those, I want you to look for similarities and differences. Okay? Try to fill out a Venn diagram to practice. So you're looking for characters, you're looking for setting and plot, you're looking for the different types of conflicts. You're also looking for theme. Theme is not something that we've covered yet this year, but remember, theme is the lesson the author is trying to teach us, okay? So how are they similar? How are they different? Ask yourself, how are they same? How are they different? That is the best way to compare and contrast. So if you pause this video and then you go back and you watch those 2 videos that I posted on Buzz, you will be able to compare and contrast them. Go ahead and pause this video and go ahead and watch those videos, and then we will fill out the Venn diagram. Now that you've watched those 2 videos, here's an example of a Venn diagram that I filled out. Notice I have a story up here, 2 different 3 Little Pigs stories, okay? On this side, I labeled it with the first title, the 3 Little Pigs story. I listed the differences. They sing a song to taunt the wolf. It's kind of boring, let's be honest, and it's obviously made for little kids. But then on the other side, I have my fixed fairy tale version. It's called the 3 Little Pigs, okay? That one's different because there's a narrator, the owl, right? The pigs had a plan to mess with the wolf the whole time. They pre-planned it. I thought it was funny too, where the other one wasn't as funny. And it's made for all ages. I even enjoyed it, and I'm an adult, right? But what's similar between the 2? I put that in the center. There's 3 pigs. There's 1 wolf. The pigs all built houses, okay? So do you see how I have the differences on these outside areas? And then where those circles overlap, that's where I put my similarities. Don't forget the titles to your Venn diagram as well. All right, now you are going to go ahead and do your show it. So what I want you to do is you're going to read each story. You're going to read the Jack and the Beanstalk, and you're going to read the police report from Alfred Giant. I want you to use a Venn diagram to brainstorm those similarities and differences. So grab a scrap piece of paper, brainstorm, and then you're going to answer those questions on your show it in complete sentences. Let me give you a couple pointers on those. This is what your Venn diagram should look like, right? So don't forget to use that. But your written response pointers. So some things these are some sentence starters that you can use, okay? You can say 2 ways that the stories Jack and the Beanstalk and the police report of Alfred Giant are similar are. One way these stories are similar is. Another way that these stories are similar is. Okay, so use those sentence starters because I do want complete sentences. If you need sentence starters for differences, here's some too. 2 ways that the stories Jack and the Beanstalk and the police report of Alfred Giant are different are, one way these stories are different is, another way that these stories are different is, okay? Use those sentence starters and give me complete sentences. If you have any questions, let me know.